And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you guys for joining live on the Instagram. If you're watching on the replay on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you are, thank you for being here. Y'all know I could not do any of this without you. Thank you for joining. Come one, come all. Tell a friend that I am in the building. Let's go ahead and get cracking. What's going on, Sharberry? Thank you for joining. Kayuki, what's happening? Thank you. Zach Bat says, good to hear you. Thank you for joining, boss. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Shout out to everybody coming on in. IC says, love you and love your content. Thank you. I appreciate it. Rummy Card Player says, dang, I've not been alive in a long time. Well, hey, I'm glad you with us. I'm glad you with us. Southern Blacksmith, what's going on? Everything's good. Rummy Card. Zach says, thoughts on the MAGA Rift divide. I don't know if that's really real. I think it's like an online thing, people jockeying for position. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. I saw the one guy, he decided to go ahead and quit. I don't know what that's all about. People just get they get inundated with the woke mind virus. I believe that one guy I'm talking about who quit, his wife is woke. I don't know. That's allegedly. I'm hearing through the grapevine. There's something like that going on. If that's happening, he might have allowed himself to get poisoned with whatever she got going on. Watch a few too many YouTube videos and have a change of heart and want to get cold feet and jump ship right in the middle of the whole situation. My thing is, if you wanted to quit, you should have done that from the beginning. Right when you saw that they were mobilizing troops and forces and munitions in the Middle East, right when you saw Maduro, right when the first bomb dropped, right when they first took out Soleimani, you should have been out in 2018. And then when they hit the nuclear stuff last year, you should have been out. When they hit Iran again with Israel at the same time, you should have been out. It took you this long to get out. You soft, you whack, you leaking. You're really a traitor for real. Like back in the day, you know what happened, but I can't say that because, the feds are listening. Feds taking pictures, but you know how that go when you a traitor, what happens. I think Joe Kent is a traitor and really should get locked up at best. He should get locked up for what he's doing. In my humble opinion, if you have all these feelings, oh, it's Israel's war, you should have got out immediately. Right when it hit Maduro, at least that should have been, okay, I'm out. I don't know where we going. I'm going to go this way. You want to get out right during the situation. And the reason why you got out is because you were an alleged leaker. So people like that, I'm glad they're showing themselves right now. I'm glad they're being exposed right now. So we're able to go ahead and get them up out of here. So I like that. To answer your question. All right. Hey, y'all got me fired up already. El Chumbo, what's going on? Says good evening from Hopewell. Shout out to Hopewell out there in is that 804? Is that 804 Virginia? Is that like Richmond area or is that like up in the belly of the beast past Fredericksburg? IC says America has a backbone because people like you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Look, I'm bumping this stuff. I'm getting excited. Hold on. Mike T says, what up, ABL from South Texas? Shout out to you. I appreciate it. From South Texas. Thank you. Keith Cindy Panama says liberal lacking in basic educational reasoning and logic. There we go. So that's like an acronym, right? LIBREAL, lacking in basic educational reasoning and logic. Liberal. I like that. That's like the awful acronym. Affluent, white, female, urban, liberal, awful. So I'm going to use that one as well. Lacking in basic educational reasoning and logic. There we go. Put that on the t-shirt. Keith Cindy Panama says delusional elites of insanity, DEI. I like that. That's a good one too. Delusional elites of insanity, DEI. What's going on, Miss Fine? Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Thank you. T Clark says my phone fixing to die, but I started following you a few days ago. Good stuff. Hey, welcome to the party. I'm glad you're here. Hopefully you stick around. We got quite a few more things coming. We got the midterms upon us, general election, and everyday content, man. So thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Keith Cindy Panama says, set Cuba free, Donald J. Trump, right on. Shout out to Cuba. Because Cuba, what's going to happen, like the issue with Cuba is that they're going to be relying upon somebody. If the East is weak, meaning China, Russia, Iran, if they're weak, then we must be strong. If we're going to be attacking some of their stuff so they don't hit us, then we got to make sure that their satellites in our hemisphere, at least, are provided for in some kind of way, in my humble opinion. Because if we don't do that, then they're going to just suffer. And it's going to be our fault, really, because we cut off their lifeline. And if they right off the coast of Florida, 90 miles away, that's going to be a security risk and a humanitarian crisis all in one. So we got to go there and do something. And like Trump said before, it'd be a friendly takeover because they're going to want it. Now, some are going to accuse us of destabilizing them intentionally, but it's not really about them. It's about them over there. And they just so happen to be a pawn in the game. Unfortunately, I wish that it wasn't that way, but they are. Because regardless of what, we were going to go to Iran regardless. We were going to be the Middle East regardless. So there's nothing that can be done. All we could do right now is just try to help them in their time of crisis. That's it. And do it in a way that will keep their sovereignty to a certain extent, to the point where they're not just a vassal state, a 51st state, some kind of Puerto Rico. Let them be their own thing. And nothing against Puerto Ricans, shout out to the Puerto Ricans, but you understand what I'm saying. Rummy Card Player says, I'm so old that I was 10 when Ayatollah came in. Oh yeah, when the first Ayatollah, back in 1979. So shout out to you. Celebraco says, Joe Kent is treasonous fool like Tucker. Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I don't know about Tucker. I'm not sure exactly what Tucker has said or done. But Joe Kent for sure. And if Tucker has done the same things that Joe Kent has done, then he's also a traitor. Absolutely. All right. So shout out to you, Keith Sweeney Panama, coming from Panama. I'm with it. IC says, I'm glad too. It's great how things are getting exposed. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right on. IC says, bit how fake news outlets, they were appealing stuff. Okay, but they're getting exposed. A lot of mainstream media outlets are getting exposed. All right, hold on. T. Clark says, you're right. We should be the beacon in our hemisphere, which keeps out the bad players. Exactly. 100%. Because we've already had an issue with Cuba before. Back in the Cold War days, Russia has control over them and they pointing missiles at us. They've been a place to be used as a pawn, and it shouldn't be that way. They should be able just to be Cuba and have their own thing going. Okay. So whether they want to go the route of a Jamaica and be more like them, or whether they want to be more like South Florida, Florida part 2. What's going on? C. Barber says, the good brother, Abadulo Bilogon. You know my true name. Do not say it in the chat room. You're going to get me in trouble now. They're watching me back home in the village. Do not say my name publicly. I will embarrass you if you do it again. Nah, shout out to you, bros. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for joining. Rummy Card Player says, ABL, what are your views? That's a very broad question. Be more specific than that. I can get you a specific question, but a very broad question like that is a difficult question to answer. IC says, the real J's, I know what you're saying. Shadow Spawn, what's going on? Thank you for joining. Thank you all for being here. Ms. Fine says, yes, I saw that Tucker is being investigated. Oh, is he? Interesting. Okay, hold on. C. Barber says, thoughts on the sudden resignation of the guy from the Homeland Division. Can't remember the exact position. I know you're talking about Joe Kent. I was just talking about him before you came in. And I think that if what I'm seeing is correct, he's a traitor. The allegation is that he was a leaker and the White House wanted to fire him because he was a leaker. That's what I have been hearing. That's what I've been reading, but that's not been confirmed. I'm sure that in the coming days, maybe like tomorrow, we're probably going to know more about that. But from what I'm reading, he was a leaker and they wanted to fire him. So I don't know if he got forced out or if he fired before I don't know if he was forced out or if he quit before they could fire him. I'm thinking maybe he quit before they could fire him because the whole thing about the Israel, that is so stupid. That's the dumbest thing in the world. You're talking about, the biggest soft brain take is that Israel is in control of everything. That's the biggest soft brain take. It's like people think they discovered some kind of secret conspiracy. Okay, it's secret conspiracy, but you got a whole podcast about it. You got it referenced in video games and movies. It's like, come on, that's like the biggest open secret that I've ever seen in my life. The things that they really have, the things that governments of this world truly have access to, you have no idea about. You can't even comprehend it. It's beyond your scope of imagination. So they give you the whole Israel thing as something to chew on, like a dog with a stick. Hey, Catch that ball. Roof. That's you right now with the whole Israel thing. That's the dog chasing the ball. You and Israel. So I look past all that. I look completely past it. Iran was going to happen because the Islamic religion, when it's allowed to just be and not be interfered with, it's archaic. Like you lived in 1500 years ago, but you wouldn't also exist in the modern culture and the modern world. It don't work like that. You got to upgrade your situation. You got to step into the 21st century. Y'all still a lot of what bar, sticks and stones. We don't got time for that. Unfortunately, the oil is so important to the whole world, not just the USA, but to the whole world. It's very important. Developing nations, it's like they are stuck in the past, and a lot of their people who aren't stuck in the past want them to get out of the way. It's like if we're here in the USA and we're being controlled by the Joe Biden types consistently. It's like, come on, these people are so dumb. They're soft. They're liars. They steal. We know this, and we can't do anything about it. We just suck up under them. That's kind of what they got going on over in Iran with the Islamic regime. Remember, they've only been there since 1979. The Persian Empire goes way back further than that. It goes way back further than that. And they've had to fight off invasive forces and fight off destructive forces for centuries now. This is just a recent iteration of it. But we see it from our point of view and think the Jews. It's just looking at it in a very, you're looking at a vertical slice of the whole pie, of the whole cake, of the whole tower. You're looking at part of one floor of a 1,000 floor building. It's a brain dead, smooth brain take to blame Israel for everything, in my humble opinion. But I digress. El Chumbo says liberals butthurt because Trump said that he can do with Cuba whatever he wants. He can. And somebody got to do something, because if Trump does nothing, then they're going to suffer, because the East is becoming weakened after the whole Iran situation. OK, China and Russia can't do nothing. That's supposed to be Iran's allies. We strike them and they do nothing. But they're going to provide intel. They're going to hack some phones. OK, y'all been doing that. Y'all been hacking Huawei and telecommunications. You're just a little spy balloon. OK, that's fine. But what else are you going to do? Nothing really. Again, the things that we have access to, the average person has no comprehension of. So they can't do nothing for real. So we can do whatever we want, but it's up to us to be benevolent in this course of action and not be brutal as the Islamic regime is over in Iran. Brad says, my daughter lives in Key West. The cops are already getting ready for fast boats from Cuba. Or you already know. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Keith says, God bless you and your family. Visit Panama for adventure. Hey, I'm in there. I'm in there like swimwear. And thank you for being here. Zach says, well, Israel is in control of most things. They control all of our government, blah, blah, blah. All right, man, you could think that. That's fine. Like I said, you a dog chasing the ball. Rough. That's you. If you want to do that, I'm not really going to get in the way, because it's fun to be a dog chasing the ball. But I feel like we human beings, we should be able to get beyond that. We're not like so primitive in our thinking, but I'm not going to attack nobody really. I'm just expressing how I feel. I'm not trying to call you, a caveman. I'm just saying that's just how I feel personally. So whatever you want to do, if you like it, I love it. Miss Fine says, did you see that huge group of Muslims were at the 9/11 memorial praying in New York City and fed up with Mamdani? Well, I did not see that, but I would not be surprised if that happened. Hey, Mamdani, I don't know. Mamdani can be very impressive with the way that he speaks, but I think he's there to manage a controlled decline of New York City. The same thing going on with Chicago, Los Angeles. These places are declining. They're still going to be major players in the biggest cities, but they're not going to be what they once were. They may have ballooned up to a certain size, and now they're going to decrease. And I think with the decrease in size is going to come a greater class stratification. The highs are the highs and the lows are the lows. Now, what you don't want is for it to be like a Dubai, because what Dubai is, it's a very small percentage of local people that are actually Emiratis, like the Arabs that's been there, like 11%, and 89% is just, non-permanent people, tourists that have a lot of money, and a slave class that comes from Asia. Okay. The people that build everything and do everything, these are your Asians. Okay. They get in a little porta potties. It'd be a little hole in the ground outside. That's kind of what Dubai is. It's the glitz and the glamour. It's like Vegas for Arabs. It's for them out there, the Arabs and I guess some Europeans, but mostly Arabs, it's for them to go out there and to engage in debauchery. I mean, you can't just be next to the Mecca on your journey. Okay, you can't be doing all this jazz right here. I mean, you can't be doing all that jazz right there and then hit the booger sugar at the same time. You got to go to Dubai for that. That's what that's for. It's 140 degrees. It's not very pleasant, but you could be in the hotel with this big Russian lady of the night and have a good time. If you're one of them guys that is named Muhammad, and you got $1 million, that's what that's for. That's not really a place that I would consider to be home, personally. That's not a very personable place. It's not a real place. It's an amusement park at best, run by slave labor. Who wants to be there? Not me. You know, Vegas is it's like Vegas on steroids for Muslims. And if you don't think that I'm correct, go over there and behave as go over there and behave as a Western person without respecting their laws. You're not covered up properly as a woman. Hey man, well, good luck with the penitentiary over there. Good luck with getting locked up, getting your passport taken. Good luck with that. And then it's right there next to Iran, so they can hit your hotel that you in with a drone. And what's going to happen? Nothing. They've already done that because there's a bunch of bases right there near Iran. And in the 80s, they hit one of the bases and killed 250 soldiers just like that in the 80s. That's what they do. That's the terrorism. That's what they do. When things fall apart, it's Allahu Akbar. And we saw a bunch of that all over the country. Now they want to blame the United States and say that it's our fault for the Allahu Akbars to come out the building. Muhammad number 1 through 1,000 want to come out and They say it's our fault, but they always do that. Anything can happen. Somebody could draw. Remember Charlie Hebdo? Do y'all remember that? Where somebody had drew the Prophet Muhammad in a newspaper and that caused a terror attack? Guys, what was that? A YouTube video? Anything can trigger them. Let the sun not shine the right way on the right time of the day. Okay. They get mad. They get upset. And now you got 3 people dead in the bazaar somewhere. Okay. They out there picking flowers. Next thing you know, and then they gone. That's what they do. So at a certain point, that has to stop. That must stop in order for us to really advance forward in the real way, in my humble opinion. But shout out to all the peaceful Muslims out there. Shout out to you guys. I don't think you guys appreciate the violent ones, but the problem is not enough of you guys speak up and say something. I don't like what's happening with the radical Islamic extremists. I don't like that. And before any big brain comes in the chat and says, what about Christianity? I don't even do the whole religion thing. I don't even play back and forth and squabble over religion. If you believe that a bucktooth, if you believe that a bucktooth pit bull is your God, then go ahead and knock yourself out. I don't care. Whatever you do is on you. But just don't throw no Allahu Akbar bomb in the middle of Times Square in New York City or Copenhagen, Denmark, or Pretoria, South Africa, or Dakar, Senegal. Just don't do that, and then we'd be okay. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, that was on my chest. I had to get it off. So pardon me. That was on my chest. I had to get it off. I'm sorry. All right. I'm gonna get back on the comments. I gotta get back on the comments. Designer says President Trump should employ you with the White House. Hey, whatever they need, I got them. I can do my thing from here, being outside, being in the street, or I could be with them. It don't matter. However, my services are best suited. I'm here for that. I'm here for that purpose. And I hope that they're watching these streams and my shorts and getting something from it. That's right, Ray. Oh, it's today St. Patty's Day. This shirt is is it green? It's kind of green. I think it's like a grayish green. Hey, it's going to count. It's going to count today. I'm going to count this shirt, although it might be a little bit gray. I'm going to count it as green for St. Patrick's Day. So shout out to you guys. And y'all know I'm about 4% Irish. So I can celebrate today. Okay. So today, my name is not ABL. My name is Anthony O. ABL. How about that? Okay. That's what we're going to do. Anthony O. ABL. That's my name today for St. Patrick's Day. Shout out to the Irish out there. Okay. Shout out to Conor McGregor and the 4-leaf clover and all that good stuff. All right. Fajid says, do you think Trump might do something for Haiti? And that's a good question. That's a very good question. I don't know what can be done because I feel like the main problem with Haiti is Port-au-Prince. So what he could do with Haiti is deploy a security force to Port-au-Prince because you got Barbecue and these guys running the show. They might just let that play out and see where it goes. That might be the de facto government because they got to weigh it. If they go in there and try to do something, will it cause more harm to the citizenry than if they didn't do anything and just kind of let Barbecue and them run the show? Maybe they might do some kind of aid, some kind of food aid. I'm not sure. There's a bunch of groups out there doing some work right now on the ground. Shout out to you guys who are doing that. I think Rand Paul is an ophthalmologist, means he's an eye surgeon. He goes out there and does free eye surgeries, or at least he was doing that. There's a few people that I know personally. Shout out to you guys if you're watching. I don't want to shout anybody out, but people that go over there and do mission work and help in that way. So they may let that keep going on. Maybe there can be some more mission work. He provides security forces for it. But as far as any kind of regime change, what's the regime? Barbecue? Like, I don't know what they're going to do about that. So maybe to answer the question, they could provide more security for Port-au-Prince specifically. Varmint says, never understood the whole Israel controlling the U.S. It's just people, people have YouTube channels. People have their conspiracy theories and they just want to say things, in my humble opinion. All right. Zach says we invade them because their economic system, communism, is actually working and we can't allow that. Iran regime isn't brutal. We're the brutal ones, the world's terrorists. Okay, you can say that, but you're not Iranian. So what would you know more than an Iranian person? The Iranian people tell me what's happening on the ground. You're here in the USA nice and comfy, chilling. So that's your opinion from the USA, and that's okay. But I think the Iranian people themselves would disagree with you. I think that our presence over in Iran is welcomed by the majority of the population. Overwhelmingly so. It's not even close. It's not even like a debate, really. The majority, like when we take out one of these generals, one of these brutal people, like the guy we just took out, it might have been today or yesterday, he was the leader of the regime's pushback against dissent, where they killed at least, bare minimum, 40,000 of their own people in just 2 days when they started the protest. That guy was in charge of it. He got deleted by the USA. Iranians in the street cheering while you hating. That's fine. But I think you should just speak to them about this and not even really squabble with me, because our opinions are just our opinions from the outside looking in, but ask them what they want. That'd be what I say. All right. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. And if I'm behind on the comments, please pardon me. Designer says he's stupid, never traveled. Iran loves Trump and so happy we were doing this. Hey, I didn't say he was stupid, but I'm not going to debate you on it. But nah, I mean, it's just lacking information. And that's what happens sometimes. People just don't know what they don't know. And that's okay. It's okay to not know things. But the problem is when you're willfully ignorant, when you refuse to learn, that'd be the problem, because people all the time I meet and I'm trying to tell them things that they should know and they refuse to listen. It's like, see, that's called willful ignorance. And when you're not pressing forward in your life and you're trying to figure out why, what's that last piece you're missing? It's because you're not open-minded to learning something new. You think you got it all figured out and don't, because if you did have it all figured out, you'd be in a much further space in your life, but you're not. So you should be open to learning something. And I think if you're here on this channel, you've got to the first step of trying to learn. That's good. I'm glad you're here. But now let's listen and be open-minded. I'm here to teach. That's what I do. I educate people. Been doing it for a very long time. Before YouTube even existed, when I was a child, I've been educating people. That's what I do. So welcome, welcome, welcome. But you got to listen if you want to be educated. Okay. And to those who are already educated, you already know what it is. You already know. You guys are out there educating your people. You're in your communities educating your people. So shout out to you. Y'all know I couldn't do any of this without y'all. So shout out to you. All right. Hold on. Designer says, did the law pass today for ID voting? Haiti, Clinton, and Sean Penn were there. Okay. Now I saw something about what was it? Something passed today. I think it passed the Senate. It might have been the ID Act. I think it might have passed the Senate. Don't quote me on that, but with things like that, I don't pay any mind until it until it gets signed. Okay, let's get it to the president, let him sign off on it, and then it becomes law. Until then, they could be going back and forth, hemming and hawing. Okay, well, it got signed by the Senate. Now it's got to go to the House. Okay, it's back in the Senate now. And then the House said, yeah, but the Senate said no. Whenever they get done squabbling about that, and then it goes to the president in its final incomplete form, and he signs off on it, we cooking with gas. But until then, we just kind of, reporting on every little thing that happens before it actually happens, and it might not even happen. So I'm going to wait until Trump says, all right, boom, we're done. It's the law. Yay. It'll happen, but it's going to take a little while. Hey, and if you're traveling right now, God bless you, because these lines, oh my goodness. Hey, Atlanta, Hartsfield, Jackson, 3 hours in TSA. Look, that's my airport I fly out of. I've flown from there many times. TSA, normally for me, 15 to 20 minutes. I'm in and out, thief in the night. And people say that Hartsfield, Jackson is difficult to navigate. How? It's very easy. If you're not used to traveling, or you've not been there before, it could be a little intimidating if you're not used to that kind of airport, I suppose. But once you go there once or twice, it's very intuitive. It's very intuitive. You just go, like when I go to Atlanta, when I go to the airport, here's my routine. Okay, first of all, I drive down from Chattanooga where I live. So that's about a 2-hour drive. It's easy. I drive all the time. That's nothing. I put on a podcast, some music, or whatever. I got my phone hooked up to my dash. I can talk to somebody hands-free. So it's nothing for the 2 hours. I park at a shuttle place, a Wally Park, or something like this, a Park and Fly. I park right there, and then it's a shuttle that pick you up, put your bags on the little thing right there. You sit on the shuttle, and you go to the airport. And the shuttle is usually like, East Point, College Park, right by the airport. You can see the planes taking off from the spot. So get in the shuttle. It takes you right to the front door of the airport right there. I usually fly Delta or something like this. I always get dropped off right there. You go in through the doors. TSA is right there. And then right by TSA, it's a bathroom right there. I normally go to the bathrooms. I've been driving, hop in the bathroom, hands wash. Right across is TSA. You go in there 15 minutes. You come out, and then you could go down the escalator, and the plane train's right there. So let's say I got to go to Concourse C. Hop on a plane train. Hold on. I ain't trying to be doing all this jazz right here, falling. And then it'll get off at C, go up the escalator, and I'm there. I can, by the time from the time I get to the front of by the time I get to the airport and to my gate, 30 minutes max, usually. I don't have no TSA pre or nothing. I'm going through regular TSA. And I get there 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes max. 3 hours, I would never. Hey, check it out. If I got a flight, it's almost it's going to take 3 hours. I mean, I bet you I don't. Hey, whatever I was going, and it's not that important. If somebody grandmama birthday party, I don't know. Like, if it ain't nothing really important, I would like, look, I'm sorry, but I can't, because TSA, they're not being paid. They're not showing up, and I understand. I'm not trying to attack TSA at all. If you are a TSA worker, shout out to you. If you still working without being paid, God bless you. God bless you, because I know people got bills and they got real things. The landlord, like, I need that rent right now. I don't know you work for TSA and that's fine, but I need that money right now. And they can't work with you. You just pretty much out back. You out of luck. So you got to go do something else. So you're going to call off to get another job, McDonald's or anything in the meantime. Okay, you're going to call off or straight up quit. You might quit to get government assistance because you need that money right now. People live and check their check. So I get it. I understand 100%. But because of that, I'm going to go ahead and just stay home until they get all of that sorted out. And then once everything gets sorted out and everything is beautiful again, I'm back on the bird. I'm back on the bird because I got to travel a little bit. I got some things I want to do. But until this is I already drove 2 hours to get to the airport. Then I got to wait at least 3 more hours to get through TSA. You out of your mind. Out of your mind. Varmint says Tucker is compromised by Qatar money, hence his comments lately. Well, he has been getting that Qatar money. So, I mean, people talking about, well, X, Y, and Z is influenced by Israel. Well, is he influenced by Qatar? It could go the same way. If the Israelis gave, let's say, an ABL But what they said is $7,000. That's like the stupidest thing. That's like the 6'7". Oh, 6'7". 7,000. Y'all pick a random number and obsess over it. What's it going to be next? 89, 45, 22. I don't know. What's the next number is going to go viral for no reason? Brain rot, ridiculous, TikTok nonsense, poison in our brains. That's a form of warfare right there. Is TikTok. China trying to poison us. That's why it was so important for us to get control of that, because China could easily poison you with that. They can make you think things and feel things in a way you didn't even really know you could do, just through the way that they do their algorithm. These algorithms are very intelligent. They're very advanced. They have high level things that you don't understand. That's what I'm talking about. Is what I said earlier. You think that Israel is the actual problem. That's you. You the dog chasing the ball. Roof, roof. How about TikTok being used as a psychological agent to actually damage you and make you do certain things you might not want to do? They can take some of y'all, especially with this religious stuff, make you become radicalized and activate you. And you go out there and become a splinter cell and you don't even know it. You don't even know it. Okay. You a sleeper cell, you become a splinter cell. You just go out there and do stuff. You won't even know it. That's why it was very important for the US to take a big interest, a big piece of TikTok to prevent that from happening. It's not about money or nothing like that. It's about that being a national security risk. Big time. Huge. So yeah, shout out to us for doing what had to be done on that front. But that's my point. There's a lot of different ways you could become compromised. Money works a lot of different ways. Governments do their thing. It's a lot of that going on. It's a lot of soft warfare happening. The missiles and bombs, that's easy to see. What about things that happen every single day that you don't even know about? How about that? Especially with China. Remember the Huawei phones? Those are bugged. They literally bug phones and you got them. Oh, it's $100. Okay. It also has a transmitter that goes straight to the Chinese Communist Party. And TikTok, same way. They can easily just spy in on you or do whatever. Meta just admitted, Meta, the actual, company that owns Facebook, WhatsApp, etc., Instagram, they admitted that at one point, the techs were able to see what you recorded with your Meta lenses because they had to review it to train AI. Because the purpose of the Meta lenses is for you to have like augmented reality. So you walk in a place and it can see things and tell you things and you can translate different languages. Well, some of y'all using it for a different purpose because they got a video function and people can see that. But now that storage is not on your glasses, it's on your phone because of that security. So if Facebook was doing that and they had to fix it, what is China doing that they have not fixed? Or what were they doing that they didn't fix before the takeover? You see how that works? Or everything could be cool. Everything could be fine. And then one day they just activate it and they just big security problem. It's all good, Rummy card player. They don't understand. It's all good. I know everybody don't understand, but I'm here to educate. Okay. I'm here to educate. That's all. Delbert says, what's up from Detroit? What's up from Delbert in Detroit? Bill Gates should be in jail. Shout out to you, bro. I appreciate you for rocking and rolling. Thank you for joining. All right, hold on. Let me get all the comments here. Yes, China is a huge problem, Miss Roman Card Player. They are a big issue. But shout out to you guys for joining the stream. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. I'm gonna make sure I got all the comments because I get to talking and sometimes I miss things. Okay. Yeah, I think the last thing I wanted to get was Tucker being compromised, potentially. Yeah, but the whole thing about voter ID, like I said before, they don't want voter ID because that would cut off an avenue that they have to cheat if they want to cheat. Okay, things ain't going well. They want to get back in power. They want to do a certain thing. Okay, we need these people to go out there and vote. Now, I'm going to do a video about this too, because Democrats will say there's no widespread voter fraud. They use all these words. And at a certain point, it's like, okay, we know your game. We know what you do. We know the kind of words you use. Oh, okay, well, it's not widespread. It doesn't really happen. Oh, okay, it doesn't really happen. Well, Doge was so good. Shout out to Elon Musk And shout out to the Doge volunteers, these really big brain guys. And thank you to all these really smart guys who volunteered to help us, because it's one thing that we need in this country are the brains. When you have countries that suffer, a lot of them have what you call a brain drain. Those who are capable, those who are able to do certain things, those who have intelligence, those who can lead, leave the country for greener pastures, because where they are, their skills cannot be utilized to the max. They're going to go to a developed first world place, US, UK, Canada, etc., and use their talents there. That's what happens. But the USA does not have that problem, really. We get some of the world's best and brightest to come right here. So these guys who are here, born and raised or otherwise, but born and raised mostly, these guys who are here can use their brains for a good purpose. And the purpose was Doge. And what they found in Doge was that a lot of illegal aliens were given social security numbers. They were given the means by which they can register to vote. And many of them had voted. They found that data in Doge. I'm going to do the video tomorrow. I got the clip of the Doge guy saying it on television. So I'm not making this up. One thing I don't do is make up news. I don't report false stuff. Whenever I report anything, it's always a news clip, a newspaper article. I write an article, give you sources, and I say, don't even believe me. Do your own research. Look it up. I promise Google is free. Google is free. And a lot of y'all don't even use Google no more. You want to use ChatGPT as a grand arbiter of truth, as if ChatGPT is flawless and cannot be inaccurate. I mean, I see it all the time. You'll talk to somebody on social media, back and forth comment, and then they will pull up a ChatGPT thing and say, hey, here's my evidence. It's like, is that how that works? I mean, you might as well say, here's Wikipedia. That's, and back in my day, you cannot use Wikipedia was not a reputable source, because anybody could change that and it can be inaccurate. You got to find multiple sources that say the same thing. You need to go do independent research rather than relying upon AI to do the research for you with no oversight, because a lot of y'all would send me stuff with errors in it that I can see immediately. A lot of y'all can't read in 2026 is crazy. But anyway, yeah, you got to do your research. Don't rely upon ChatGPT and all that kind of stuff. And y'all talking to your phone like it's a real person. Don't rely on that. You got to do some real research. Again, I'm an old guy. Back in my day, had to go to the library. I remember being 10 years old, 8 years old, really, going to the library, my neighborhood library, walking from my apartment to the library because I was curious about something. And I had a bookcase full of books. I had encyclopedia, I had a globe, I had fiction, nonfiction, I had everything in my bookcase. But when I had a question for something there was no answer to, I was like, okay, let me go to the library and try to find it. If I could find a book on this particular topic, I might be able to find an answer in there. We've gone from that to, let me just ask this unreliable piece of technology called ChatGPT and let it give me an answer, and whatever it says, I'm going to accept with no actual research, with no actual fact checking, with no verification. I'm going to just take it for granted. I'm going to just take it for gospel because it's ChatGPT, as if it's some kind of grand arbiter of truth, and it's not. Deborah says, thanks for the feedback. Kamala Harris said that she will see us in 2028. Not me. Yeah, not me either. Not me either. And if Kamala was intelligent and she knew it was good for her, she would not run either. That's not a threat. That's just saying that she has no chance. And all it's going to do is be a stressful endeavor in which she will fail. Maybe she's going to get a bunch of money for it. If that's the case, then I understand. It's a job and you're just paid to lose like a wrestler, the WWE. If you get a big bag of money, it's like, okay, Jake Paul, you know good and doggone well you were not going to beat Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua hit you. Anthony Joshua was toying with you in that ring, bro. Listen, Jake Paul, hear me well. And Trump, you funny talking about he could be in office one day. You're funny for that. But anyway, Jake Paul, I'm no big time brawler, boxer, but I know a little something. And I saw some of that fight with you and Anthony Joshua. And RIP to his family out there. Prayers out to you, bro. Prayers out to you. But that was an interesting fight. I saw Anthony Joshua toying with you. It was like a dog playing with a toy. Like you dangling something in front of me, just kind of like it's like a cat playing with a cat toy, just like this. And then that last punch, that his whole jaw, all of this right here was over here. All of this right here was just like, it was a mess. It was a mess. He smiled. He like this. Cause he knew, okay, I'm gonna get you one good time. All right, you ready? That probably was the deal. Okay, I don't know how he sounds. Okay, Anthony, hit me just one good time. But the whole fight, that's kind of what it was. He's like, deep, 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 playing with him. And then it was like, he gave him a little nod. Like, he's like, all right, there we go. Bop. All of this right here was, and it was like, you could see his face. He was like, oh my Lord. It's levels, man. It's levels. If you fight a professional fighter for real, you're going to lose. And you're going to be seriously hurt. You're going to be in the hospital. You might mess around and die. If a pro boxer hits you one time, you just a regular dude off the street. And Jake, okay, he trained and whatnot. That's fine. But anybody can get in the ring and train when they get to be an adult. Anthony Joshua, you see his body the way it was. Like, he was too big. He's an actual real trained Olympian. Bop, all of that right there was done. So, long story, less long. Sometimes you do get paid to lose. And that'd be Kamala Harris in 2028 if she was to run, because she has no chance of winning at all. And she knows it. This past election, 2024, they were booing her on stage. They were booing her. I felt bad. I legit felt bad for her. I was like, man, come on. Speaking about boxing, throw in the towel. I was saying, please throw in the towel. It was like somebody was just getting beat up and the ref wasn't doing nothing. Like, it was like somebody was just like, bop, bop, bop. And the ref was like this, chilling. It's like, ref, please intervene. Throw in the towel. Break it up. Stop it. Stop her from being pummeled. But she might have been getting the big back money to get pummeled. So she might do the same thing again. We never know. We never know. I know one thing. A lot of money was spent on that campaign. Oprah got $1 million. Beyonce got what, 5 million? I ain't seen one song. Went on Destiny's Child. Hey, she didn't even say, what's the name of it? No bills, or whatever they had. None of that. No, no, to the left. She didn't say nothing. She went there and said, hey, H-Town, I'm here with Kamala Harris and Kelly Rowland. Thank you and good night. And that was it. $10 million. Easy. So if she got that money, if she got that much to go out there and do that, how much did Kamala Harris get? Big bag. Jay Brown says Harris can't even win a primary. She can't because people don't like her. They don't like her. The Democrats have totally refused to listen to the will of the people. And that's why they ran Joe. They knew full well that Joe could not make it another term or another campaign season, let alone a whole term. He was not going to be able to do it. He could not campaign. He couldn't campaign in 2020. His excuse was, it's COVID and I got to stay in the basement. But now ain't no more COVID, so you got to be outside. They knew he couldn't run, but they ran him anyway because the plan was to do the bait and switch. Okay, let's let everyone vote for Joe Biden. And then after all the primaries are over with, put Kamala in there and then say, oh, she was on the ticket, so it's fine. That's not the way that works. Okay, listen, if I voted for Donald Trump to be the president and then they roll out JD Vance, I'm like, where's Trump at? That's not who I wanted. He was on the ticket. He was on the ticket. Okay, that's fine. But look, I didn't vote for him to be the president. If he was on a ticket to be the president, then I wouldn't have gone out and voted. Or I'd at least have, thought twice about it. I mean, if it's between JD Vance and Kamala, I'm voting JD Vance. But regardless of what, I did not vote for him. You can't just change it like that and make me vote for this guy. That's not the way it works. That's called being unconstitutional, in my humble opinion. Unconstitutional. Sure is. It sure is. But shout out to you guys for joining. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Jay Brown says I'm a legal immigrant. Legal, L-E-G-A-L. I'm a legal immigrant and pay all kinds of money and jump through all kinds of hoops to become a citizen of the best country in the world. It is insulting when I hear folks defending illegals. Exactly. I'm with you 100%. And I know a lot of people just like you who did everything right. You waited years, you worked hard, blood, sweat, and tears, spent a bunch of money, jumped through hoops of fire to get here, got here, did it legally. And then here comes this guy just sneaking through the back door and get all kind of benefits. That's something else though. Get all kind of benefits because not only are illegal aliens voting in our elections, they're also being paid a bunch of benefits. Like I said before, there was a congressional study performed, it might have been 2024, I believe, that stated we, the people, taxpayers of America, spend $450 billion with a B, $450 billion a year, every year since the crisis happened on migrants. Again, $450 billion per year we the taxpayers spend on migrants per year. But I'm told that they're better hardworking and they don't take benefits. I can't tell because $500 billion a year is quite a bit of money to be spent on people that supposedly don't need no money. You understand what I'm saying? But the legal immigrants don't do that. The legal immigrants don't do that. It's the illegal aliens. But you know what's going on, though. Let me tell you what's happening. Here's my opinion about illegal aliens in places like Minnesota, especially Maine, California. What they do is support their economies in their states. And let me explain. Their citizens don't want to work. Can I say that? Not all, but the people that vote for this kind of stuff, the Democrats, they don't want to work. Do you know that the black workforce rate has overtaken the white workforce rate? Why? White liberals, California, Minnesota, Maine, want to sit at home and do nothing, while the illegal aliens have fake daycares, fake hospice centers, fake home health care centers, fake medical transport, fake this, fake that. And they just help boost the economy. And then when they don't fraud, they do some of the more menial tasks in society. So they have a pseudo slave class and a class that engages in theft because that money that they steal from the taxpayer, you and I, is boosting the local economy. You're wondering why you see people in a very expensive gym at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon, and they're like, younger than me. They're like 30, 25, 30. How are you not working right now at 2 p.m. as a work age male? What are you doing? Stealing or getting money from people that steal? That's what's happening. That's why Nick Shirley is very important for exposing that kind of stuff. That was the whole lifestyle in Minnesota. Remember, I put up a map that showed ICE raids, like the ICE raid hotspots. The whole state of Minnesota was bright red. The whole state. What does that tell you? The state is largely subsidized by illegal aliens. Their low labor, their low workforce, their low floor to get paid for menial tasks, hotels, restaurants, things like that I actually did and actually worked at for real. I did 5 years in the restaurant, so I'm not just talking from, a guy that doesn't really work. Anyway, they do stuff like that and then they steal, which again goes right back to the economy. You see Mall of America, it looks like Mogadishu. But when they do spend money occasionally, it's going to be the stolen money and that money goes back into the local economy and the tax base. That's how that works. So after the successful raids of Minneapolis, Minnesota, California, etc., let's see how their economy does. And let's see the areas where the economy will dip. And I guarantee you, the dip will be noticeable. It'll be noticeably a dip because of the lack of the migrants and their stolen money. Rummy Card Player has been following Nick Shirley for a long time. Shout out to Nick Shirley. Okay, our favorite nephew. Viking says, Alberta separation thoughts. So what does Alberta want to do? Did they want to become part of the United States or did they want to become completely sovereign as their own country? Okay, the Republic of Alberta, like, how does that really? I'll say, if they want to become part of the United States, come on. Y'all can have Minnesota. No, I wouldn't do that to y'all. I wouldn't even do that to y'all. I wouldn't spring Minnesota and their problems on Canada. That's mean-hearted. We can go ahead and just fix Minnesota. We'll have the adults come in the room and clean up the mess the kids have made in Minnesota. Okay, we'll do that. But Alberta, if you want to come on. It's okay. You can join us. You can totally join us. If that's what you guys want. But I want it to be a thing where it's what you want and not what anyone on the outside suggests. Same thing with Iran and anywhere else that the United States becomes involved with. Okay, Wagner Todd says, hear me out when I say this, and I don't take it personally, but what happened to the Conservative Party ever since Charlie Kirk's death? It has been divided. This isn't what he would want. I'm not sure what you mean, though. Like, what does that really mean? When you say it's divided, what do you mean? Basil Censor says, thoughts on Marco Rubio 2028? Hey, I'm a big Marco Rubio fan. Like I said, I'm the president of the Marco Rubio fan club. So I like Marco a lot. 2028. JD Vance, he's okay, but he's still young and developing. We're the same age, me and JD Vance. I know I got the gray beard. I know, but I don't look as old as I do right now in person. But anyway, it don't matter. The point is that we're the same age. And I know just from my own personal development that I may have room to grow in my leadership skills, just as JD Vance does. So when I say this, I'm not trying to attack JD Vance. I just empathize with him on this. And I understand that Marco Rubio, a more experienced person, 55 years old rather than 41, a person that is universally liked, bipartisan support, can speak Spanish fluently, is able to get on stage and just have better presence than JD Vance. I think right now he's best suited for the job. Now, I've said before on this channel, maybe on my YouTube as well, of course on my YouTube as well, but I've said before that typically Americans like tall presidents between 6 foot and 6'2". Marco Rubio's like 5'9", maybe 5'8", probably about 5'9", 5'10". So not exactly 6 foot, but that does not disqualify him from being the president. I think Carter was short like that, but Rubio was no Carter. Rubio is much better than Carter, and he's been able to show and improve over years. He's improved. He's gotten better over time, and he's a force to be reckoned with. JD Vance right now is a fraud czar. I guess that's respectable for his level and where he's at. But Marco Rubio is what? The prime minister of Greenland, the viceroy of Switzerland. Now he has Greenland work he's working on, Cuba, Venezuela, Iran. He's doing a lot of everything right now because he can do it. He's capable of doing it. He is a rock star currently living right now in the administration. So I think someone with that kind of resume and with that ability and skill to juggle everything he's juggling right now, he should be the president in 2028, or at least a front runner to run. And I think he would be able to succeed because there's nobody on the other side that can really do anything with him, because it's like a matchup when you playing basketball or something like this. Okay, you got a really good player, but if they are matched up against somebody that's, a tough defender or they can score more, it's going to be an issue. But who on the other side will be a tough matchup for Marco Rubio? Who? Max Headroom, a.k.a. Gavin Newsom, Pink Man, the pink tan, that ain't going to do it. AOC, dumb. Wits against wits, she loses. They both Hispanic and they both speak it Hispanic. So they have all those, but wits, intelligence, skill, experience, Marco has it, and it's obvious. But Gavin Newsom, he may have some experience, and he has a big state that he runs in California, and people like California a little bit, but there's also people leaving California. There's a lot of problems in California. So that right there is a vulnerable place for him because his own state is not necessarily in the best shape. They're losing delegates. They are losing population. You got a problem with Los Angeles and the crime and the drugs. San Fran the same way. You have separation movements happening in the northern part of the state. They want to become Jefferson. That part that's right near Oregon. They want to become state of Jefferson. So you have separatist movements. You have internal strife, bad management, drugs, guns, gangs, unsafe for the rich, unaffordable for average everyday people. And those at the bottom of society, homeless, skid row, trailers, it's a mess. So that right there, his state's condition would be ammunition upon which Marco Rubio could use to shoot at him during a debate or anything else during the ad. So I think it's going to be pretty easy. Now, JD Vance, like I said, I like JD, but his problem is, look, I'm in Appalachia right now. Okay. I'm born in Appalachia. I'm in Appalachia right now. I've been in Appalachia for a long time. I grew up in Virginia, so I know the difference between an Appalachian person and a more East Coast kind of person. JD Vance spent a lot of time right there, Middletown, Ohio. That's not quite Appalachia, but it's Appalachia adjacent. It's like right there, you kind of like on the Appalachian outskirts. But he spent time in Kentucky, I believe, with his mama in Appalachia, like in the actual mountains. So he has that experience. He's had too much of that experience and not enough of other experiences to really be able to develop into a better politician. But like I said, that can come with time. He'll be in DC enough. He'll be around your Marco Rubio enough and Trump. He has a great mentor right now in President Trump. It'll be 4 years when he's done with Trump as his mentor. So once he goes through that process and he's able to improve, then at one point he could become the president. Maybe when Marco Rubio is done, maybe he could continue to be the vice president right now. That might be kind of humbling and it could be kind of embarrassing for him to do that. But I think if he was able to accept that role and thrive in it, he would do well. But trying to become the president right now, he would fail. And I think the thing that would get him on is his Appalachian background and his lack of dexterity when it comes to speaking. When you're speaking to somebody and you can't really just be witty like that, they'll get you on that all day long. But Rubio can do that and they can speak different languages. But JD Vance don't got that. All right, I'm reading some of the comments if I miss anybody. And thank you guys for being here. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All righty. Jay Brown says, any thoughts on Eastern Oregon wanting to become part of Idaho? I was surprised at how conservative Eastern Washington is too. Yeah, I mean, the thing about Oregon, Washington, and California is that most of the state is not like their big population center. Portland is Portland. Once you leave Portland, it's not Portland. It's beautiful Pacific Northwest. It's beautiful. The drugs and the doo-doo on the ground, that's like kind of concentrated in one area. Unfortunately, these areas have a lot of power. So that makes the whole state blue, although the rest of the state would prefer to not be blue. So the places that don't want to be blue want to separate from that. Now, the only thing about trying to become part of Idaho is that I don't want there to become some kind of independent republic, or pardon me, I don't want to say that. I don't want there to be a place that operates like an independent republic and for their government to become compromised by these carpetbagger types who want to shift that into California Part 2. They want to just migrate their same thing because as they do in places like Phoenix, Arizona, Las Vegas, they bring the California ways with them. But the reason why they left California is because the California ways did not work in California. So why would they work somewhere else? Just changing your geographic location will not improve your policies. Let me say that one more time. Just changing your geographic location will not improve your policies. Your policies sucked in Los Angeles, and they're also going to suck in Coeur d'Alene. They're also going to suck in Reno. They're also going to suck in Flagstaff and Mesa and Tempe and Phoenix and Scottsdale and everywhere else. They're going to suck because the policies are bad. And we see you guys, wherever you go, you create nonsense. Austin, Texas, we're seeing in many California because of the policies of California. And y'all trying to do it in Nashville. Please don't do that. I'm in Tennessee. Listen, Californians, if you can hear me, I'm your welcome person to Tennessee. When you go to the BNI, whatever that is, the airport out there in the eastern part, whenever you come to the BNI airport, Nashville, you should see my face talking at you. Now, here's what I got to say. Welcome from Stockton, from Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, San Bernardino, San Luis Obispo, wherever you're coming from. Welcome, Bay Area. Welcome, SoCal. Welcome, Sureño Norteño. I'm just playing. But when you're here in Tennessee, please leave your California politics in California. We do things a certain kind of way here. Yes, it is a good old boy system. We wanted to stay that way. Okay. Yes, it is. Yes, Bill Lee's the governor. Yes, we do have guns here. Yes, we do things a certain kind of way here. Yes, we do things like this. Yes. And we want it to be that way. Yes, we do say yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, we do say that. Yes, we are country people. Yes, we are Appalachian in the eastern part. Yes. What you should do is just come here and become ingratiated in what we have. Do not change the politics to what you want. Don't do that because you have bad policies. You are not an intelligent person politically. Just stay here and do as the Romans. Like they say, when in Rome, do as the Romans. Don't try and reinvent the wheel or some kind of newfangled doohickey. Nah, just stick within what we have already going here. Simple. Because when you don't do that, all you're going to have is a repeat of where you came from. And it's just like a virus, like a parasite. You've consumed one host to the point where the host has no more to give. And then you go to the very next place and consume that host until it has no more to give. And all you do is just go from place to place to place with a trail of destruction in your wake. Or you could just stop being the parasite. You could stop being this pest and actually just become part of society like everybody else is. That's what I would say. Now, Raquel says, I spoke about Tiffany Henry. Okay, Tiffany Henyard, I've not spoken about her yet, but I think I'm going to do a video on Tiffany Henyard. So Tiffany Henyard, the super mayor from Dalton, Illinois, I covered her quite a bit when she was really getting her money. Let me tell you something about people like Tiffany Henyard. So for those who don't know, Tiffany Henyard was a mayor and a town supervisor, I believe, in Illinois, like small town Illinois, south of Chicago, Dalton, Illinois, and also Thornton Township. She was there basically stealing money, essentially. And she was like a brutal dictator in many ways. If you did not donate to her fund, I think it was some kind of charity she had. Okay. If you were a business and you did that, if you were a business and you did not donate to her quote unquote charity, she retaliated against you. Okay. Let's say you're a restaurant. You got a liquor license. She'd revoke it because you didn't give her any money. That's called a shakedown. You can't do stuff like that. See, people like this are so incompetent, in my humble opinion. They do things not even knowing that it's illegal and not even knowing that we can see them. It's like, bro, we can see what you're doing. You can't do no shakedown. You can't force someone to give you money and then retaliate against them. That's 100% illegal. Then you want to spend money on your own personal self, going on lavish trips, buying these crazy wigs. I see your wig, Tiffany. Look, Tiffany, I see your wig. Don't even do that. I'm seeing the sheen head to toe, but then the big wig on top. The outfit is straight sheen, but the wig is like 2 bands. I already know what I'm looking at. So don't even do that. You're retarded. You're not even spending that money appropriately. You're spending money on wigs. Not even your whole outfit. Not even your whole physical health. Get a personal trainer. But anyway, so she got caught for doing all this. She's currently under federal investigation because when you do stuff like that, stealing money from the residents, when you're trying to strong arm them out of their money, when you do stuff like that, that is illegal and you can't go to prison. So now she has left Illinois. And before she left Illinois, she also rented a resident's home because she saw that the house was going to be up for sale. I mean, the person was renting the house. The person already had a family going to move in. Tiffany said, nah, don't let them move in. I'm going to move in. So the person kind of felt pressure and said, okay, I won't let this family move in my house that I'm renting. I'll let you and your married boyfriend allegedly move in. They move in and the woman raises the rent by $200 because the property tax that went up. Who raised the property tax? You know who. But anyway, so they raised the property tax. So she had to raise the rent $200 rather than paying the $200. Rather than leaving, they just stopped paying rent, but continue to live there. That's called squatting. So there's a litany of violations going on since she has used Again, a parasite, since she used Dothan, Illinois up, Thornton Township up, since she used them up, now she wanted to go to Atlanta, the home of the scammers. The problem with going to Atlanta is that we know a scammer a mile away. Listen, we know a scammer a mile away. You come into ATL as a scammer. Hey, man, it's like going to the DMV. Okay, next, here go a number 1075. Go over there with all the other scammers and wait until it's your turn to try to scam somebody. Everybody knows scammers in Atlanta. I've been around scammers a long time, coming from Atlanta, back in my old young days, my street days. I know I've come across scammers. She is a classic scammer. She'll scam in one area and then go to the next area. Scam, and go to the next area until she gets caught. Maybe she'll get locked up. But if she really about it, if she bought that scamming life, she'll get locked up and come out and continue to do it. That's what they do. Scammers are unrepentant. They're never going to admit what they do. They're going to lie to you with a straight face and cry and everything else. That's what scammers do. She is no different. So in Atlanta, if you vote for this lady in this election, you're retarded and you're not even looking at the scammers around you. But I don't think Atlanta will let this lady get in there. I don't think so. Because again, we know scammers. It ain't nothing new. Maybe up there in that small area, they have not really come across a scammer like that. But in ATL, this ain't Thornton Township, lady. This ain't Dalton, Illinois. This ain't no small little suburban, town with people just working at the smoke shop and stuff like this. This is the king of the, and then you got the best of the best, the creme de la creme of scammers right here. Hey, the Nigerians I joke about just playing around, but it's been some big guys. What was the guy Hush Puppy? Was he here? I think he might have been here. You talking about guys that then took M's. You trying to take 10 bands to get a hair wig. You better get locked up immediately. Immediately. Okay. Fonnie Willis is like Fonnie Willis compared to Tiffany Hinyard is like Donald Trump compared to Jimmy Carter. I don't even want to do Jimmy Carter like that. Let me give a better example. Okay. Fonnie Willis to Tiffany Hinyard is like, what's a good example? It's like, I got a great example. Watch this. To my foodies out there, to my big backs, my fellow big backs unite, BBU. But anyway, Fonnie Willis to Tiffany Hinyard is like a filet mignon with a rare sear, Salt Bay, that whole action compared to a TV dinner Salisbury steak. You see what I'm saying? And Fonnie was a moron. So Tiffany Hinyard is even more of a moron, an obvious moron, not even trying to hide it. Anyway, so yeah, that's my opinion about Fonnie, Raquel. Hopefully that helped. All right, but shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff that'll help me out tremendously. Basil says, all these scammers play the victim. Drives me crazy. Or saying Nick Shirley didn't know what he's talking about. Drives me bonkers. I mean, listen, scammers going to scam till they die. They're going to lie till they die. They're going to scam till they die. That's what they do. They're unrepentant. They don't care. It doesn't matter. Victims are unimportant. They're going to keep on scamming until they can't scam no more. They're going to get locked up. They're going to get out and they're going to do the exact same thing once they're free. And then they're going to gaslight you like, you don't know what you're talking about. Hey, I caught this scam. I didn't do that. It's not me. They be in jail. I'm innocent. I'm free. It'd be videotape of them taking the money. It'd be them writing stuff, trying to sign stuff. It's just like that guy. Okay. I don't know if you guys ever saw that guy in Southeast DC who got caught taking a bribe from somebody. It's like, bro, come on, man. You think you in a rap video, bro? But I can tell you just didn't even know no better. No education. He had no idea that can actually be undercover. He thought he was just like, in the street ripping and running. Ain't no more streets. It's a little bit of streets. You can do certain little stuff. Okay. You want to sell crack and make, $100 or something like that. Okay. You could do that. You want to try to sell weed still in 2026. I guess you can do that, but I mean, ain't no money in it. You making less than minimum wage ultimately. And then plus you got a high risk. You can go to jail or die for like next to no money. But anyway, you can do that, I guess. They're not really going to mess with you until you start shooting and thugging and drugging. Okay. But big stuff like taking a bribe as a member of the federal government, you're going to prison. You're going straight to the penitentiary immediately. Trying to steal money from the residents, taking campaign money and going on trips. You getting locked. They got George Santos. That was an example. All he wanted to do was be fabulous. He wanted to be out there twirling like the Real Housewives. That's what he wanted to do, and got himself locked right up. So if he got, how about Tiffany Hingger? It'd be the same thing. Anybody else, it'd be the same thing. But some of these people, man, some of these scammers are so dumb. Tiffany Hingger is in the same category as Fonnie Willis, although Fonnie Willis is a bit more smart. But Fonnie Willis is the same thing as Kristi Noem. Okay, they got, I don't want to say what they got, but okay, you got to be PG. So they were infatuated. There we go. They are infatuated with a man. In the case of Fonnie Willis, it was Big Nate, Nathan Wade. Okay, Big Nate was coming through, and you know what I mean? And then with Kristi Noem, it was Corey Lewandowski, who is a complete pest, like a ridiculous person who should be nowhere near the conservative movement at all. He's been a pest for a long time. I don't know what his deal is. He kind of like preys on women, tries to get into the political sphere through women, taking advantage of them because they don't know no better, vulnerable, easily manipulated. You got this guy, this pimp type attitude, manipulating women. And that is a sensitive spot, a sensitive subject to breach, but it's a real subject. It's a thing that can happen, which is why women as presidents are not good presidents, because they could be compromised pretty easily. Unfortunately, Kristi Noem got compromised. Fonnie Willis compromised. Fonnie Willis, you trying to prosecute the president like an actual person, Donald Trump? You're trying to prosecute him. But in the meantime, you gave your sugar baby, Nathan Wade, $600,000 from this money that should have went to that. You gave that to him and y'all went on trips. Same thing with Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem hit him for about $250 million. $250 million for this scum of a man, Corey Lewandowski, this pest, this cretin, this troll, this troglodyte, this slimy, disgusting man. I would never listen. Let me tell you something right now. And I'm not trying to be misogynistic or nothing like that, and I know I'm preaching, but thank you for being here. It's a lot of much I got to get off right now. I would never use anything that I have, any charm or anything like that, to take advantage of a woman in that way. Whatever I'm trying to do, I'm going to tell you straight from the beginning, no lies, no manipulation, no nothing. Corey Lewandowski, you're married, first of all, and I'm single. And I treat women better than you do, and you're a married man. Make that make sense. You should know how to treat women because you're married. But anyway, I'm getting triggered. You're married and been married for 21 years. Okay, hold on. There we go. 21 years. And Kristi Noem, 34 years. How dare you manipulate this married woman, vulnerable woman, using your charm? How dare you do that, bro? You disgusting. I would never step to nobody that's married or even got a boyfriend. Hey, you got a boyfriend? Yep. All right. My fault. I'm sorry. My fault. I would never. And if I'm married, I'm married. I ain't doing no extra stuff creeping around. And I'm most certainly not taking advantage of these women to get money or to get political power. I mean, people like that make my stomach hurt, for real. My stomach hurt right now. My stomach is hurting thinking about that guy doing stuff like that. And to all the young guys out there, please heed my words. Do not treat women that way. Be honest, be open, be truthful. And if you married, you got somebody, you need to just stay with that person and that's it. Stay with them. Don't embarrass them. Don't put them out there like that. Corey Lewandowski. But again, that's why they don't want women to be in power, because there's vulnerability there that can be manipulated. And, that is a bad thing to do, a wrong thing to do. And it will only come back to bite you in the hind parts, Corey. Okay, you had your little money, had your little fun. Y'all went on trips, had a little love boat in the sky. Cool, cool, cool. But now, what could happen is you could go to the penitentiary for what you have done here, bro. And reputation damaged, completely damaged, forever. I mean, really, it should have already been damaged from his prior transgressions, but I guess that it wasn't. Whatever. What's going on? YCTJ Familiar says, hi, ABL. How you doing? Everything is good. Can't complain. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Thank you. Basil says, thanks, ABL. Just one last question. If you get to it, what do you think about cloud seeding and weather manipulation this year in Colorado is record highs? We've had absolutely no snow, crazy wealth. Well, as far as weather manipulation, I don't know a lot about it. I don't know. I know they do cloud seed and it does work. If you don't know what cloud seeding is, they put chemicals in the air. Y'all correct me. But when you see these little lines in the air, they're putting stuff in the clouds. They're cloud seeding. I think it's titanium or something like this. They put that in to make it rain more. They do that a lot in the Middle East to make it rain more. Now, I don't know what the effects of that are because I feel like you're trifling with the natural weather pattern. And when you do that, you can have results that are unpredictable. You can have erratic weather. You can have record high wind, rain, etc. I know one thing. This area where I'm at right now, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, that area, Tornado Alley. Every spring, tornadoes coming through. Just the other night, when it snowed that next day, the night before, listen, it snowed. I put up a story of the alpaca farm up there in northern Georgia by Chattanooga, not too far from me, just kind of like west of me, going toward Nashville, but in Georgia. They had snow and the alpacas and all of that, but that was in the afternoon, like 12 noon, I suppose, or like 10 a.m. The night before, I heard a little bit of the train. And if you know about what the train is, when you get hit with a tornado, the winds are going so fast. It's like a train coming at you full speed, like, it's like that. You're going to hear that noise like this. Hold on, one more time. You're going to hear that when a tornado coming at you. I heard a little bit of that, but I could tell that it wasn't really the full train sound. It was just high winds. So it was tornado watches, and you can see the radar. You get them little hook echoes. And if you know, you know, if you're out there in Oklahoma, especially, you know what I'm talking about, them hook echoes on the radar. So you have a band of weather coming at you like this. And of course, you know how Doppler radar is. It's like really intense colors here, the bright purples and whatnot. And then further away, you're going to have mostly like red and lighter colors that are not as intense. But right here, it's going to be pretty intense. And it's going to have some parts where it kind of hook like that. That's where a tornado is going to be. So I'm looking for hook echoes. I'm hearing the sounds. So I'm worried about a tornado the night before. And that day it was like 75 degrees. It was beautiful. I was in Atlanta at the Botanical Garden. It was fantastically beautiful at the Botanical Garden. Oh, it was great. Oh, it was so good. It felt good out there. The sun was shining. The birds were chirping. It was lovely. That night, tornado warning. In the morning, snowing. Hey, only in the South here, like Georgia, can you get all 4 seasons in one day. California can never. It's just, yeah, I'm surfing, dude. It's 75 degrees, dude. I'm surfing. Or it be raining. Rarely. But normally, yeah, I'm surfing, dude. It's 75 degrees, dude. Unless you in the, IE or something like that, then you on fire. Then now you in Nevada, basically. And that heat ain't no joke. It burns your skin like it ain't nothing. Your skin, you turn crocodile immediately. All right, but shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, make sure I got everybody. O3 Forster says, check out Cheekwood Gardens in Nashville area. Oh, okay, I'll check it out. Christian says, also that train sound won't help us. We live at a railroad crossing. Now, you know what? Hey, I'm glad you said that, Christian. So when we got a tornado that hit us in 2020, we live right by a railroad. So we would hear the railroad all the time, but it was not the same sound. I mean, literally, we live up on the hill a little bit. At the base of the hill, behind the houses, it was a train track. So it was right there. We would always hear the train come at the same time of night. And we had a wooded area by us. So it'd be coyotes that'd get rustled up by the train. So we hear the train coming. You hear like, it'd be like this. It'd be like that. It's different. You can hear the wheels turning. But, and this ain't no wheels. It's just straight wind. But when the train would come, we hear the wheels and that, kind of train sound. You hear the coyotes. That's how they sound when they getting rustled up. Shout out to the coyotes. I seen them too. I seen them out in the neighborhood. I was taking the trash out and they be right there by the trash cans. They big too. Like humans running around with coyote suits on. I'm like, what they feeding these coyotes out here? Anyway, but you can tell a difference between the train that's like on the tracks, because you can hear the wheels. But it ain't no wheels. It's just straight wind coming at you. And it's not like in the distance. It's coming straight for your head top like this. It's definitely a difference. So I'm glad you said that, because it is a thing. If you got a train next to you, how is it different? It's different for sure. Lindsay says, president of a huge cloud seeding company has insightful interview with Dave Rogan and definitely helped explain past experiments, present, and plans on the future for sure. Okay. That's what's up. Kristen says, yeah, I'm in North Georgia, close to the Alabama line. The weather was so crazy. Yeah, you in my neck of the woods. I'm out here in Chattanooga, so you in my neck of the woods for sure. Out there by South Pittsburgh and stuff like that. Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. Iron Spider says, I see it so often. Women are putting their way to the top, but it turns out there are men out there too. Exactly. Whatever anybody else does is one thing, but the men most certainly got to refrain away from doing stuff like that at the workplace. Okay. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. I got a little bit more time and then I'm gonna get up out of here. But you guys know I'm here each and every Tuesday at about 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm on the YouTubes every Wednesday and Saturday live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'll be live tomorrow on YouTube again. That is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. I'll be live. And I'm here pretty much every day, putting out pre-recorded content. Undisputed says only Congress can declare war unless imminent danger. There was no credible source that an immediate attack was in place. Trump campaigned against endless wars. I mean, did he declare a war? Is that what happened? I'm not sure that he did that. If he did, I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm just saying, did he declare a war? Did that happen? I'm not sure that he did that. So then we got to just say things that is correct. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. If you're right, then you're right. That's right. Shout out to you, Lindsay. That's right. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Again, hopefully my shirt is green. I don't know if it's green or if it's gray, but I'm going to count it as green today because we are in St. Patrick's Day. So shout out to you guys again for rocking and rolling. All right. Like this counts as green. It's like an off green. It's an off green. Yeah. So that counts. I got green right there. Hold on. I got green right here. Now I know it don't look green right now, but it's green. See, look, I got stuff that's green, but it looks brown because it's avocado, but it's still some green. Matter of fact, there go the green right there on the sticker. There you go. So there go my green that I got for today. All right. There go my green. And look, since I'm 4% Irish, I'm already got my green inside. My green's inside. It's a 4% Irish. Yeah, my name is not ABL. My name is AOABL. There we go. Yeah, that's right, Undisputed. I got green socks. I got green socks on. There we go. Yeah, but you can't see them. And I can't, put my leg up here and make you see this. You know what I mean? So you got to take my word for it. All right. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Any questions, comments, concerns before I check on out? Y'all let me know. Iron Spider says, I have green dollars. Does that count? Hey, that count. All right. See. Hey, I got that money gun. I'm money man. I got them greenbacks in my pocket. Okay. I got that money. I ain't mad at you, boss. I am not mad at you. Christian says, right, that should count on 20%. There we go. And then who said, you see 53%, Lindsay? So shout out to y'all. Shout out to all the Irish in the building. All the percentages Irish in here. Right on. Right on. And shout out to everybody else as well, whether you black, white, Puerto Rican, and Kennedy Stripe. Thank you for joining. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Alrighty. Lindsay says, have I heard about Ilhan Omar? I mean, I'm not sure what any new development has been about that. Yeah, I'm not really sure. But there's always news about people like this. There's always going to be something that comes out. All right, I'm about to get up out of here. I will see you guys again on tomorrow live. But I'm here every day putting out pre-recorded content for you guys. That's going to be Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, now known as X, TikTok occasionally. I'll be on there as well. But that's a wrap for tonight. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.